Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Cipher Academy Chapter 3. When we last left our heroes, after solving a puzzle given to him by Kagoe, Iroha met up with Kagoe in Class 2B, which may or may not be where Class 1M meets. There's some mysteries around 1M sort of floating around the previous chapter. But Kagoe sort of, inducts him into this whole conflict over this massive cryptocurrency that is tied to military budgets, to like the median military budget, and Kagoe inducts Iroha into her plan to get this money in order to end all wars, and that bit's a little bit unclear as to how she wants to do that. And that lack of clarity is made a little bit more suspicious by Toshusai's claim to her flunkies that Kagoe was the former, head of development at her family's weapons manufacturing business, I believe was the exact position, right? Where was it? Former technical expert of the war manufacturing business. And also that she does not want to end war, she wants to double the war to increase the profit of the morgue. So yeah, we'll see where exactly Kagoe ends up falling. So let's dive right on into Chapter 3. Decoding may dance, but it does not move forward. Which I don't really know what that means. But our picture here is like a breakdancing Iroha. Before, in front of a wall with Cipher Academy, graffitied on it. Anyway, we open with Toshusai continuing her little, breakdown of Kagoe. Much as we buy and sell weapons, that girl buys and sells wars. Kagoe Horigatoge is a warmonger. And we see Iroha go to shake her hand. I didn't notice this earlier, but Kagoe's glove looks like the Western Hemisphere. You can see North and South America on that glove. But Iroha, which I'm not sure if that's a sign of anything, but it's something to keep in mind. But Iroha hesitates. Kagoe questions, what's this? Are things moving a bit too fast? Teehee. Well, let's set aside the 50 billion morgue for now, and start with being friends. But Iroha tells her, oh no, it's not that. In fact, it's about the friends thing. And he gets, full, shoujo bubbles behind him. I mean, I'm grateful, but we just met, and for a boy and girl to become close this quickly? Well, it's not really elementary, is it? Which, normally Iroha's elementary catchphrase doesn't really, it always feels natural. It's tied to, a puzzle, and so it feels like a thing that would believably be said. But that just feels like it's an excuse to shoehorn in a catchphrase. I don't know. It's a minor thing to be mad at, but you know what I mean. But Kagoe is just all of her plans seemingly foiled at this really minor inconvenience. What a pain! But Iroha tells her, sorry, but I gotta go now. Please don't misunderstand. Your dream of eradicating half of all wars is really lovely. It's touching. So if you're looking for a treasure hunting partner, please choose someone more dependable. And Kagoe just, watches her go with this, uncomfortable smirk. And, it's all, either the inherent awkwardness of hearing someone, debase themselves like that, insult themselves like that. But also because of what Toshusai said, there's that other potential reading of, her plan has hit a snag. And so she calls out to Iroha, aren't you interested? And Iroha does freeze. I'm pretty sure you are. I can't say this too loudly, but, and we're seeing much like Iroha has his elementary catchphrase, Kagoe has this I can't say this too loudly thing she says over and over again. But, you enjoyed it, didn't you? Solving those outrageous codes that the school, that villain girl and I set up for you, right? It might be hard to understand, but knowing you, Iroha, one day, on your own, you'll... And Iroha does not really stay and listen to Kagoe compliment him. He just sort of, beats feet and runs. Kagoe sort of shrugs, her plan will have to wait for now. And then this, like, hologram guy with Kagome, like, written on his vest. I have been assuming Kagome was a given name, but now I'm not so sure, as the mystery man tells her, "Ho ho ho, so you were turned down, Professor Kagome." I think it still would be her first name. Like, that just fits the sort of dynamic she had with Iroha in the scene where they agreed to call each other by their first names. Anyway, Kagome tells this guy, "Hello, CG. Well, he didn't actually turn me down." And we see, looking at CG again, you can see the letters CG hanging off of his mustache, which is definitely an interesting little look there. I thought he'd join me when I told him my dream strategy, but Iroha's self-esteem is lower than I expected. It seems I made him think that he can't keep up with me. Which again ties into the fact that Iroha's whole thing is distinctly a lack of self-esteem, nothing else. He needs a self-esteem boost in some way. And CG questions, "So what will you do now? You are a warmonger after all," which gives a lot of credence to what Toshusai said, that Kagome is just sort of leading Iroha on with talks of peace. Though she still referred to the peace thing as, like, even in private, as her dream strategy. Not some lie she told to, like, get ahead, but her genuine dream. I don't know. Anyway, Kagome tells him, "Good question. I absolutely want Iroha to become class-leading private. And seeing is believing. But I can't say that too loudly. It's no big deal. I'll see about letting him put a stop to 2 or 3 small wars by solving some codes. Then he'll definitely fall for me. If it's self-confidence you lack, then I'll make sure you succeed, Iroha." So that seems to be, I don't know, part of the implication I'm getting from Kagome's line there is that she'll start wars that Iroha can stop. Which definitely, like, it sets up this idea that Kagome very much is misleading Iroha. Though what Toshusai said, even if we don't accept Toshusai as, like, trustworthy in any way, shape, or form, what she said was basically true about Kagome. But anyway, we cut to Iroha, who is, dejected as he's leaving Kagome. "Sheesh. I'm always like this, I know that. In the end, I failed to give back the glasses again." That's what he's focusing on? Alright. Come to think of it, I didn't ask how the glasses can talk either. Not a peep from them since then, though. Oh yeah, we still haven't really dealt with the whole talking glasses thing. But it's better this way. Out-solving 18 classmates to become class-leading private is a pipe dream at best. I don't know. Again, as long as you have the little hint of the glasses, you ace these things, man. Like, it really is just a constant, self-pity party with Iroha. And he flashes back to Kagome's offer, "If you've got no dreams, I'll show you some." And that, like, elicits a soft little smile out of him. A soft little smile that completely goes away upon realizing that Yukako is currently towering over him. And I do love, like, the shading there, the instant threat that we see just from, just similar, it's both the shift from like the reflection into that new threat, but also like the shading over the eyes does a lot of that work. There's some good, like, it's in the angle as like the image is framed from below both of them, allowing Yukako, who's taller than Iroha anyway, to really loom over him. It's a lot of good, like, that's just a strong, well-made panel. And Iroha recognizes her and turns to run, but is blocked off by Tayu. He is now surrounded by Toshusai's lieutenants. And Yukako tells him, "You can relax. The young miss isn't here. And we're always in the business of making offers. So please choose, Irahazaka-kun. Will it be a code battle or a dance battle?" Okay. I guess that ties into the decoding may dance or whatever from the title, but it never moves forward, it does say. Right? That's the exact wording, I think. But it does not move forward. Maybe a sign that things can't advance through a dance battle. It would have to be a code battle to really move forward the plot of, like, the whole whatever is going on with Iroha and these two can't really advance with a dance battle? I don't know. That's a lot of projection, I think. And then we have this flashback of the Toshusai gang talking about the glasses, as Taiyu comments, "Those glasses are clearly suspicious. And even today in class, he was acting strange, but only when wearing them." And Yukako adds in, maybe he's not as sorry as he seems. And if that's the case, then it's simple. We wait for the opportunity and take them by force. But Toshusai stops her. "Yukako, are you suggesting we steal an item that might cost 100 million yen in materials alone? Fine then. The three of us can go to military prison together." I guess just like the fact that it could have been developed by Kagome is like a sign that it's worth a lot of money, I guess. Oh, no. I didn't mean... Stealing them from the warmonger herself would be one thing. But if it's the latest weapon that was officially transferred to him, then our only option would be for Irohazaka to offer it himself. Maybe that's why she entrusted it. And this is a Taiyu chiming in here. Maybe that's why she entrusted it to someone who seems harmless. But he probably won't hand it over, Toshusai-sama. Forget the 100 million yen. According to the warmonger, those glasses are a pickaxe for digging up 50 billion morgue. Oh, this isn't like, they're not still in the same place as their previous conversation from the end of last chapter. They were listening in. That conversation at the end of last chapter must have been before the rest of that whole scene, because they were clearly listening in to the pickaxe metaphor that Kagome laid out in the previous chapter. But Toshusai tells her, "Oh, we have ways. It's too soon to butt our heads against the wall." And we see Yukako and Taiyu watching Iroha dance. And I think this is still Toshusai's monologue. Or Toshusai's narration, I guess? I'm trying to find the right word, but I'm blanking. "This is Cipher Academy. As out of place as that boy may be here, he still made it in as a student." And we see he really can dance. That is his strength, I guess. Like breakdancing, it looks like. As Yukako and Taiyu were just almost like stunned into like silence. Stunned into a sort of deadpan silence. Just like, okay, I guess that's a thing. As Iroha finishes the dance, and then puts his glasses on. It does this little pose and puts the glasses on. "How was that?" Okay. And Yukako hands him a sheet of paper. "Well, while you were dancing, I came up with this puzzle. You have 30 minutes to solve it, so..." And Iroha reacts, "What? That wasn't the deal. That's not fair. I chose the dance battle. Now it's your turn, isn't it?" And Yukako, just like snaps at him. "Don't take what I stylishly said so seriously. That was for effect. You may be a boy, but your dance moves are so graceful." Which, so, I'm thinking about the bit in the first chapter, where Toshusai is very directly like, there's no such thing as a figure of speech at Cipher Academy, and like, Yukako's just kind of full of shit here, you know? Okay, sure, you're pretty much brazenly cheating to get what you want. Alright, fine, that's where we are. Even Taiyu calls her out. "Isn't saying you may be a boy a bit much? So what if he's cuter than a girl?" Which, again, there's some weird things going on with gender circling around this series. I'm not quite sure if we're getting anywhere with that. Or if it's just Iroha's kind of femme and it's brought up every... If we're getting at something... Like, there's something about, you know, code breaking is the sort of forefront of the military, and the series treating that as being like a presumed sort of women's work. as a kind of, those two together working as a kind of gender bending on traditional society. Like, I don't want to say full on, like, the series is set in the matriarchy, because that's a whole can of worms I don't really want to get into. But, like, something akin... I'm curious if Nisio Isin is shooting for something, like, close to that, or if it's kind of like an assassination classroom where there's, like, a few jokes in the beginning about how Nagisa kind of looks girly, until we get to, like, the hard-hitting backstory with the mom. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, Yukako acknowledges her own problems. Okay, fine. I apologize. That was brilliant dancing. If you solve this puzzle in 30 minutes, we won't bother you ever again. We'll even request to change seats. Those shouldn't be bad terms for the person who solved the young Mrs. Code in such spectacular fashion. I mean, I highly doubt, like, given the fact that Toshusai is kind of set up as the immediate antagonist, well, her and Kagoe in two very different ways, given what CG and Toshusai have said about Kagoe, but, you know, given Toshusai's relevance to that whole conflict, you know, as one of the main antagonists at the moment, I don't think they're going to be not bothering Iroha ever again. That doesn't feel right. And Iroha sort of calls her out on that. How do I know you'll keep your promise? You did just lie to me. And she, like, brushes that part off. Oh, shut up. This is Cipher Academy. An exchange of promises is absolute when coded documents are involved. And we see our fifth puzzle, a 5-star difficulty, that is a collection of stars, and the stars have letters and numbers, or sometimes just numbers, sometimes just letters also, and 2 of those stars are shaded in. I have no idea what that's going to be getting at, so let's just, you know, read on. And Kagoe, we see, is watching all this through the glasses. Tee-hee-hee. Too bad. I wanted to see Iroha dance too. Well, just seeing Yukako lose her composure from Iroha's point of view was fun enough. And this is CG asking her, I think. Are you sure about this, Professor Kagoe? At this rate, it seems Iroha Irohazaka will go down in flames. Thanks to those associates of your former employer, Kyoura Toshusai. And Kagoe comforts him. It's totally fine. I entrusted him with your grandchild for times just like this. Okay. I guess if CG is like a program / butler, then like the machine, the glasses could be an advancement of something specific in his program? I don't know. If he's a code breaker who's going to become my comrade in arms, he has to at least beat the villain girl's cronies. More importantly, I need to select which wars to stop. If stopping a war causes the value of Morg to crumble, our efforts would be for naught. Ideally, we only want to solve conflicts that have a limited effect on the cryptocurrency. Alright, so there's... like, she simultaneously... She is stopping the wars. Whatever the hell that means. I'm not quite sure what Kagoe is doing to end wars. It's all very vague on that front. But that feels like it could be a ploy to like get Iroha to get into Iroha's good graces. You know, it feels much more like that than like a genuine desire to stop war. Like, she's too focused on the Morg and not war. But you could argue the other direction, of course, that she needs the Morg to still have a high value to use it to its full potential, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, back to the puzzle. Iroha questions Yukako, so if I can't solve this puzzle, then I have to become your manservant, right? The same condition as before? And Yukako stops him. No, we don't want that. You must hand over those glasses you're wearing. And Kagoe sort of laughs in like frustration. Ah, busted, huh? Teehee. Well, it has felt like a cat and mouse game from the start. And I think here, Iroha is coming up with a backup plan. A second thing that could like be the cause of his puzzle solving skills. Not just the glasses, but the hair tie, as he calls out to Taiyu. Yukata-san, you lent me this hair tie earlier and didn't take it back. Is it alright if I use it again? And Taiyu just tells him, sure, go ahead and keep it. I mean, you were holding it in your mouth the other day. And Iroha just laughs, and he ties his hair back with it. And with the glasses is ready to go. And tells Yukako, Omamura-san, could we change the conditions? Changing seats isn't really worth it. And Yukako questions, what's this? You want to wager money? Or do you want me to dance? And Iroha, ever the sort of angel, ever just the sort of like nice guy, tells her, no. If I solve this code, then you people stop chasing Kagome. And Yukako doesn't quite know what to say about that. Kagome was not expecting this. Like, Kagome is Yukako's goal, so it's unlikely that she's really going to want to just give up on chasing Kagome. But neither of them are really expecting, Iroha going out of his way to protect Kagome. And Iroha goes on, I don't really know Kagome well, but she praised someone like me, even if she didn't mean it. God, your self-esteem, boy. Your self-esteem. She absolutely meant that. I can't help her, but I don't want to get in her way. And we see Iroha's just like, not Iroha, Kagome is just blushing hearing this, as CG comments, oh my, he's supposed to be falling for you, not the reverse. But Yukako sort of turns him down. Making that decision is above my authority. Someone like me cannot wager the actions of a young miss. Okay. Just you and Yukata-san, then. I want the two of you to quit the Kagome search squad. That's elementary, right? And the two of them kind of consider that. As Taiyu sort of grabs the little thing she's like tossing up and down to really focus, both of them sort of consider Iroha's offer. I'm not quite sure they would ever, break away from Toshusai. But anyway, Iroha notes their silence and asks, do you think I babble too much? For a boy? No. I find it masculine. Then let me add to the conditions too. If you can't solve it, you must surrender the glasses and transfer to Trench Academy. Which Taiyu informs us, Trench Academy. In contrast to Cipher Academy, it's a Spartan boys' school for rearing commandos. Irihazaka-kun wouldn't last 3 days in a place like that. And Yukako sort of teases him. Or, not, teases is like a bad word, but taunts, that's the word for it. I always offer choices. You can cry and beg disgracefully if you'd like. Or if you're a man amongst men. And Iroha takes the bait. That was so stylishly said. Transfer. How elementary. And Yukako declares, the code battle is set. If you solve my code, then the two of us promise to leave Kagome Horigatoge alone. And Iroha notes, and I swear too, this will be my last. Ice cold reading. And Yukako, and that last bit is thought, so only Kagome quite knows what's going on with that ice cold reading. Yukako just watches him get ready to go with the code breaking, though, I highly doubt it will be his last. And then the screen cuts to black as Kagome looks, what the? Not only is there no light, it's gone completely black. Did our connection get severed? Gah, come on! And we see CG sort of with the ellipses of wanting to say something but not saying it. Just at the good part too. And I did maintenance on the communication satellite just yesterday. And CG finally speaks. If I may be so rude as to inquire, Professor Kagome, when you transferred my grandchild to Iroha Irihazaka, you gave him the charger as well, didn't you? And she freezes. Oh shit. And that's the 5-star difficulty too. In other words, the connection hasn't been severed. The batteries run out. And we see Iroha in a panic trying to work out the code. To be continued. Okay. So if it weren't for the thing about him transferring to Trench Academy, I would assume that this whole code would go something like this. That he would utterly fail, without the ability to read the glasses. His self-esteem would cause him to fail the cipher, the code, and then Yukako would get the glasses, take one look at them, see that at that point they're just glass and metal, and give them back. Who gives a damn? They're completely useless because the battery's out. He ends up being saved by the same thing that damns him. With that offer for Trench Academy, I'm a lot less sure. And so, actually, I want to call attention for my theory as to how this match will go. To that, this will be my last ice cold reading. This won't be, he loses, but no one gives a damn about the glasses because they seem fake anyway. With the battery turned off, with the battery empty, it's that he no longer has the glasses, but he still solves it because, as I've been saying for all 3 videos so far, Iroha's good at solving codes. He really is. If he just lets his self-esteem get the hell out the way and just own that shit, he'd actually be really good. He doesn't really need the glasses. They give him that little starting hint, but, once he learns to find that starting hint on his own, he doesn't need ice cold reading. It really will be his last ice cold reading. So all of that's a possibility to how all this will go. Anyway, it's a fun chapter. As the sort of, it heightens the sort of question as to what exactly Kagome is planning. Last time I was a little bit suspicious of Toshusai's claim that she was genuinely trying to increase war, to increase the value of the morgue. The plan made sense, but I didn't quite know if we should trust Toshusai. With this bit with her and CG, I do believe it. I think she's, this is not to say that Toshusai is, a hero or something, and that we should actually be trusting her, because she's just as much a warmonger as Kagome. I don't see a big difference between arms dealers and warmongers. They all kind of seem the same thing to me. But yeah, there's some fun stuff in the chapter. The dance battle is fun. The bit of, Yukako even acknowledging, fine, I was being a little mean there, is a good little bit of humor. And then we get to this sort of, I really like the kind of raising of the stakes from both Iroha and Yukako. That whole segment of, sure, we could say it's the glasses versus the moving the seats. But actually, what I want is not you changing seats, it's to protect Kagome. Which establishes Iroha's character, even if it's increasingly unlikely that Kagome deserves to be protected, given that she's, kind of a warmonger, war controller, whatever the fuck that thing she was doing with the, what war should I stop sort of thing. And then, matched, beat for beat, by Yukako. In those same, I didn't notice this earlier, those same shadows from her first appearance in the chapter that really emphasizes the kind of threat she may pose. There's some good stuff here. There's some good tension building, especially, with the battery dropping, and can Iroha do it on his own? Will he find that self-esteem? As it really does need to be a matter of him finding his self-esteem, finding his faith in himself, that allows him to solve the puzzle. He can do it, he just needs to believe that he can do it. Is my best guess as to how all of this is going to go. So, these 3 chapters, like I said, the first chapter, I was intrigued, but I also wasn't quite sure I was going to really like it. These latest 2 have sold me on the series much more. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. With all of these characters, they're already just, kind of engaging. Sure, in the way that, they can only be so engaging after 3 chapters, but I'm definitely intrigued with the concept of the puzzle battle, as the puzzles have all been really cool. I'm sort of just taking this as a moment for, a step back and looking at the 3 chapters we've read so far. The puzzles are really cool. It's, they all seem like the sort of thing I could never work out on my own. I could never even come close to working out on my own. But like they all seem to make a certain degree of sense, I guess. Like there's some leaps that just like show Iroha's skill at this. But it's cool to see how he solves it, even if I would never in a million years see it coming. And yeah, now it's up to see how he does it when he doesn't have the glasses. He'll have to work out how to do it on his own, which I'm pretty sure he can do. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!